The next blow will strike your finger.
After I was kidnapped, the kidnappers demanded a $50,000 ransom, threatening to chop off one of my hands for every dollar short. But my husband Gideon, the husband of a Wall Street tycoon, merely smoothed his hair and began calculating at his leisure.
Reattaching 10 artificial fingers costs $10,000. Spending $50K on ransom is a 500% loss. Not my style as an investment guru.
I might have bought that load of crap if I hadn't watched him drop a fortune on a Van Cleef and Arpels necklace for a Starlet at a Sotheby's auction just the day before. He even tried to talk me down.
For our future, every dollar has to justify its value. I'm sure you'll understand my choice. Just grit your teeth and bear it.
Fine, Gideon. If you won't pay up, I'll make the money myself. 10 minutes later, my live stream hit #1 across the entire internet. Tip $1 and I'll spill the untold story of how the ice-cold stock market guru really made his fortune.
I know losing a hand is hard to swallow, but if we invest that 50 grand into other projects, it'll bring hundreds of times the returns. We're business people. We have to pick the option with the highest ROI from the limited funds we have.
The words that came out crushed every last bit of hope I had.
Last minute!
The cold steel of the blade sent a shiver down my spine, but it did nothing to quench the rage burning in my chest.
Gideon! This is all on you! You laid him off illegally with no seconds, and he was driven to this because he couldn't pay for his daughter's medical bills. I'm the one paying for your mess!
Layoffs are a legitimate business decision. Choosing to kidnap someone is the employee's personal mistake. Legally and financially, this isn't my problem.
Hearing that, I wanted nothing more than to reach through the screen and wrap my hands around his throat.
Who the hell are you to make that call? Every single thing this company has, I built it with my own 2 hands!
When I first met Gideon, all he had was a shutty business plan and a team that was one bad day away from falling apart. I was the one shoomering with tycoons at dinner after dinner, locking in investments and tech partnerships, building Starlight Entertainment from nothing into what it is today.
Gideon's eyes darkened. The next second, Scarlett appeared on the screen.
Vivian, just cut Gideon some slack. Money's tight these days. You have to weigh the pros and cons of everything. He's only thinking about your future together.
Don't look, baby. It's too brutal around her. Pulled her firmly into his chest and gently covered her eyes with his hand.
He said weddings were just for show, that real life was about being frugal. So we only got a marriage license, not even a single wedding photo. And I had to write a full report explaining every single expense I made. Now I finally understood. That so-called frugality was just an excuse. He just never loved me. You spent $10 million on a Van Cleef necklace for Scarlett, but you won't even spend $50,000 to save my life?
Gideon tapped his fingers absently on the desk. His brow fronted slightly. Scarlett is talent under our company. Polishing her image creates business value. It's a smart investment.
Enough chit-chat! 10 seconds left or I start cutting!
Just grit your teeth and get through it, baby.
The last flicker of warmth in my heart died out completely.
Don't blame us. Blame yourself for trusting the wrong man.
The 2 kidnappers pinted my hand down. One of them raised the blade, ready to strike. That's when I spoke up.
Fine. If you won't pay, I'll get it myself.
Gideon shook his head and laughed.
Vivian, all our money's in my accounts, and you don't even know the passwords. Where are you going to get the money?
I'm not getting it from the bank. I'm getting it from you. If you won't fork over $50,000 to save my life, I'll make you pay it back 100, 1,000 times over. I spoke with unshakable conviction. 10 minutes later, a live stream went live, its bold title grabbing eyes instantly.
Starting a live stream to beg for tips? I admire the hustle, but who's going to pay for a bunch of unsubstantiated dirt? You're wasting your time.
Vivian, why humiliate yourself begging online? If you're really that desperate for cash, just beg me. I might even spot you the money.
Sick of their running mouths, I hung up the video call. Beg her? After this live stream, I'd be the last person on my knees begging for anything. That would be them. I cleared my throat, looked straight into the camera, and smiled like I already had the win in the back.
Hey everyone, I'm Vivian, wife of Gideon Voss, CEO of Starlight Entertainment.
A handful of comments started scrolling across the screen. The corner of my mouth curled up.
I'm going live today to teach you all how to get rich. We all know Starlight Entertainment is the top entertainment company in the country, pulling in billions a year. But do you know how it got that big in just 7 years? Why, it's all thanks to our very own Mr. Voss, of course. Pinching every penny, making brilliant investment after brilliant investment.
I paused, then hit play. A crystal clear explosive recording blared through the live stream.
Vivian, 50,000 for a single hand is a terrible deal. Just tough it out, and I'll get someone to reattach it when we get back.
Buying Scarlett at that necklaces was an investment, so what if it was 10 million? Her show's blowing up right now. She needs proper jewelry to match her status.
Two conversations, two wildly different tones and attitudes. The contrast couldn't have been starker. 30,000 viewers flooded into the live stream in an instant, rocketing it straight to the top of the trending charts. One comment caught my eye. I pinned the comment to the chat up to the camera and spoke with a mocking lift in my voice. If Scarlett and Gideon just have a simple boss-employee relationship, how do you explain this? On the screen, clear as day, were scanned copies of 5 property transfer deeds, each worth millions of dollars. Grantor, Gideon Voss, Grantor, Scarlett Vale, black and white, undeniable proof.
A month prior, I'd noticed something off with the company's books. I hired a private investigator, and that's found out my so-called loving husband wasn't just cheating on me. He was throwing millions at his mistress. I'd planned to confront him when I got home, but I never expected to be kidnapped on the way. Now, these files were my only hope of survival.
The comments section exploded. The fans who'd been talking big just a second earlier went completely silent. 3 hashtags. Shot straight to the top of the trending list, taking the first 3 spots. My phone buzzed like crazy. Gideon's name flashing across the screen. I hit answer. The ever-calm Mr. Voss was screaming down the line, his voice thick with rage. The ever-calm Mr. Voss was screaming down the line, his voice thick with rage.
Shut this down right now! Are you trying to ruin Scarlett?
I looked at the exploding comment section, my smile growing brighter.
Just a heads up, Mr. Voss. I've got you on speakerphone.
That furious scream had just been heard by over 1 million people in the live stream. A deafening crash of shattering glass came through the phone. He tried to yell more, but I hung up and blocked his number without a second thought. Thanks for all the tips, everyone. Once we hit $20,000 in tips, I've got way more tea to spill.
But in that short window, the tide turned completely, only to find Starlight Entertainment had swooped in and deleted every single one of the hashtags I'd created. The top 2 trending spots now belong to Starlight Entertainment cease and descents. Starlight Entertainment Vivi reads unsubstantiated slander and defamation of our Scarlett via live stream and neglecting other channels. Our legal team's Twitter had just 4 words. The truth speaks for itself. The comment section was flooded with abuse from fans and paid trolls, but I just kept retweeting the same lines in tips. The tea keeps flowing. My screen lit up. She deleted it right after sending, clearly having learned her lesson from the last recording, but by then we'd already hit the $20,000 in tip goal.
Scarlett denied being the other woman to save her career, and Mr. Voss has shown he's a spineless coward with no accountability. But that's not what you two were saying at the private hot spring resort in Napa Valley 2 months ago, was it? The second those words left my mouth, private hot spring resort in Napa Valley, California, the chat went completely berserk.
The second those words left my mouth, private hot spring resort in Napa Valley, California, the chat went completely berserk.
In the live stream, Gideon was spamming the chat like a madman, frantic. Shut the live stream down, stop it right now. I ignored him completely. For all my paying viewers, here's the tea. Even with water partially covering their figures, their close stances were plainly visible and undeniable.
Chat fell dead silent for a moment, then erupted into chaos. The 2 kidnappers leaned in urgent.
30 minutes left. If we don't get the full 50 grand, it won't just be one hand anymore.
Relax, the money's on its way. I smiled softly. All right, everyone. One last bombshell for today. You know the Starlight Entertainment charity gala? What you don't know is there is an after party. Insiders call it the back room, and only the richest, most powerful people get in. But just in, Gideon's account popped up in the stream, and he dropped a straight $50,000 tip.
No, it's not. Mr. Voss, this backroom stuff exposes the rot in the entire industry. You can't cover it up with money.
The next second, another tip from Gideon came through. This time it was $10 million.
A smile spread across my lips. 10 million. Gideon really did have a knack for investments, didn't he?
The live stream ended. The 2 kidnappers stared at the phone with greedy eyes and immediately let me go. The second I stepped through the front door, I was met with Gideon's bloodshot, furious eyes. He lunged at me, gripping my wrist so tight it hurt, his voice shaking with rage.
Do you have any idea how close you came to destroying the company with that live stream? You're gonna fix the damage you caused, or I'll make your life a living hell.
Behind him, Scarlett stared at me with pure hatred in her eyes, about to chime in. Gideon, you didn't care if I lived or died when I was kidnapped. What gives you the right to act like my husband now? Scarlett rushed over to help him up, screaming at me at the top of her lungs.
You psycho!
Gideon lost over $10 million to save you. The least you could do is be grateful. What gives you the right to hurt him?
I glanced over her head-to-toe designer outfit, my voice freezing. You slept your way to the top. Who the hell do you think you are to yell at me? Scarlett flinched, her sore spot hit dead on, and rage blazed in her eyes.
Vivian, you're no different. You're just a leech living off a man. Without me, you'd never be living this rich housewife life.
Rich housewife? A rich lady with $300 a month? A wealthy lady who demands an invoice and a report for spending over $3,000? Gideon, you better remember this. Every single thing you have now, I gave it to you. He grummed his teeth together, cold fire in his eyes.
So what? I'm the CEO of Starlight Entertainment now. I'm the majority shareholder. When anyone says Starlight Entertainment, they think of me, Gideon Voss, not you, Vivian Reed.
I let out a string of cold laughs. All the blood, sweat, and tears I'd poured in, and this was how he repaid me? Ungrateful bastard. All the blood, sweat, and tears I'd poured in, and this was how he repaid me? Ungrateful bastard. Gideon, I'm gonna make you watch your business empire crumble to dust in front of your eyes, mark my words. I didn't wait for his response. I turned and walked out, never looking back. The bombshells I'd dropped sent the internet into a frenzy, but Gideon quickly paid to have it all swept under the rug. For the irrefutable Nav Valley video, Starlight Entertainment's PR team hired two lookalikes of Gideon and Scarlett and reshot the video. They tried to use this cheap trick to muddy the waters and rewrite the truth. Whether the public bought it was unclear, but as long as the fans ate it up, they'd achieved their goal. But Gideon was still drowning in chaos. All his longtime investors pulled their money out without warning and dumped it all into a new company called Aurora Studios. Meanwhile, Starlight Entertainment's stock was in freefall. For the first time, the ever-arrogant Gideon hosted a dinner, groveling to his investors over drinks, but they couldn't have cared less. By coincidence, I was at the same club for a meeting and ran into Gideon just as the dinner ended. When he saw me, his face turned purple with rage. He tried to step toward me, but the CEOs with him were already rushing forward, holding their hands out to me eagerly.
Mrs. Vivian, what a pleasant surprise running into you here.
Mrs. Vivian, would you honor us with a drink in the next room? We'd love to talk about future partnerships.
Next time, perhaps. I have a meeting with Mr. Depp from Cedar Capital today. The men all sighed in disappointment. Gideon's face twisted with fury. He grabbed my wrist.
Mr. Depp is Starlight Entertainment's biggest investor. Vivian, is stealing my clients the only way you know how to start a business?
Mr. Depp is free to invest with whoever he wants. Your inability to keep him on board is your problem. Legally and financially, this isn't my fault. Mr. Depp chose to work with me because he believes in my vision. If Starlight Entertainment is struggling, that's for you to fix.
I didn't look back. I walked straight ahead. Behind me, Gideon screamed.
Vivian, you'll regret this.
But that night, right after we signed the contract, a hand suddenly clamped over my mouth from behind. I struggled and looked in the rearview mirror. Staring back at me were the faces of the two kidnappers from before.
The account got reported. We couldn't withdraw a single cent. Mr. Voss said if we bring you to him, he'll give us a $100 million bounty. So, Miss Vivian, no hard feelings.
Do you really think Gideon will pay you $100 million?
The kidnapper froze. Let's not forget, Gideon hates losing money more than anything. A few days ago, he haggled over $10 million in tips back. If I end up dead, what do you think he'll do? Pay up like he said? Or hire a cheaper hitman to kill both of you and tie up loose ends? The two men looked at each other, clearly shaken by my words.
I'll pay you that $100 million bounty. But only if you let me go live one more time. He wants me dead? I'm gonna take him down with me.
The air was tense for 3 full minutes. Finally, the kidnapper let go of me through gritted teeth, but kept a knife pressed firmly to my lower back. The livestream went live again, In just 3 seconds, nearly 500,000 viewers flooded in. The comment section went wild, everyone guessing what bombshell I was gonna drop this time.
Since Mr. Voss broke his word, reported my live stream and had all the tips frozen, the deal we made to bury the story is null and void. So today, I'm gonna tell you all exactly what went on in that charity gala backroom. Before I could finish, the screen went black. The stream had been reported and shut down again.
Gideon's call came through right on cue. He had Scarlett in his arms, staring down at me through the screen.
Vivian, stop wasting your time. I gave the order a long time ago. The second you go live, you get banned. Besides, the bounty on your head is $100 million now. You could stream for a year and never make that much.
Don't worry, Vivian. When the time comes, I'll prepare a proper resting place for you and make sure you leave with dignity.
Gideon, you really think this is all I've got?
I've got top-tier tech specialists on my side. They've completely erased all your private files and records. Every one of your devices is now totally useless and unusable.
He smiled, a cruel, vicious smirk on his face, staring at me like a snake.
What tricks could you possibly have left? When you're dead, Aurora Studios will be mine. It's a shame, really. 2 companies you built with your blood and sweat, and they'll both end up bearing my name, Gideon Voss.
What are you waiting for? Do it now!
He pointed at the 2 kidnappers behind me, yelling urgently. Vivian, I'm going to record every moment of your downfall and play it over and over at your memorial service. I could feel the knife at my back trembling slightly. The kidnappers were hesitating. That much was clear. 10 minutes.
Fine. After 7 years of marriage, I'll give you 10 minutes to say your final goodbyes.
These 10 minutes aren't for me to say goodbye. They're for you, Gideon, to watch your entire world come crashing down.
Me? Crash and Brone? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Whatever, she's only got a few minutes left. Let her talk.
Gideon, have you ever heard of black boxes, Scro? I left all the evidence with them a long time ago. If I go off the coude for more than 3 hours, every last bit of it gets posted to Twitter for the whole world to see.
I glanced down at my watch, and right now we're 6 minutes away from that deadline. Tell me, if the world finds out about the money laundering and illegal escort rings at your charity gala, do you really think you'll walk away unscathed? Gideon's face twisted through a dozen emotions. He slammed his fist on the table.
Vivian, cut the psychological crap! I'm not falling for it!
4 minutes. I ignored him, glancing at my watch again.
Stop with the fear-mongering!
3 minutes left. Seeing this, the 2 men looked hostile and said,
I don't care what it costs. Nuke every hashtag with my name and Starlight Ventuscalman on it. Block the terms entirely. Keep them off the trending list no matter what.
Vivian, it's O for you.
Sorry, the 10 minutes are up. And I lied earlier. The evidence isn't going to Twitter. They're being sent directly to the inbox of every single FBI agent specializing in white-collar crime in Los Angeles.
You set me up?
If Mr. Vox hadn't broken his word first, this evidence would never have seen the light of day. He was about to scream more threats when the office door was suddenly pushed open from outside. Three RS agents in crisp suits walked in, briefcase in hand.
We've received a tip that Starlight Light Entertaining and other illegal activity fakes charity projects. Mr. Vox asks, you will provide all relevant financial records and cooperate with our investigation.
Before Gideon could react, 2 officers entered. Starlight Entertainment is accused of pressuring artists into improper conduct.
Mr. Voss, need to cooperate with our investigation.
Gideon stumbled backward, all the strength draining from his body, and collapsed limply into his office chair. Seeing this, the 2 men looked hostile and sharply.
The call is over. Hand over the money at once.
Bikewood will poke with them, and it stalled and was flashing alert button and lunching. Too late. After an emergency dangerous encounter in my car, I triggered it quietly the moment I was taken away, while they weren't paying attention.
Sirens wailed louder and louder. The kidnappers cursed and raised the knife to strike. But the police burst onto the scene, and with a perfect takedown, pinned his arm behind his back. The knife clattered to the floor, and I kicked it far away. With the police's help, I got away safely. The 2 kidnappers were arrested and taken to jail. The public portion of the charity gala was an auction of jewelry, art, and antiques, but in the back room there were illegal escort rings involving the talent on the company's roster. Worse, there were fake charity projects. Companies would donate to the projects and the money would be funneled right back to them. Classic money laundering. Federal law enforcement released an official report on the case, pinning it to the top of their social media to make an example of the company. Gideon should have gone to prison for what he'd done, but at the last minute, Starlight Entertainment's CFA took the fall for him. Even so, it couldn't stop Starlight Entertainment's stock from crashing. The once dominant company was now on the brink of collapse. More and more investors pulled out. The top talent and department leads all handed in their resignations and came to work for Aurora Studios. The empire he'd been so proud of was crumbling to dust. Piece by time, he panicked. He called me woman he'd once 100 off of tests and apologizing and begging for a second chance. I pulled the SIM card out of my phone and dropped it in the trash without a second. One day, in the parking garage under my office building, I saw him again. He'd clearly been drinking. His face was flushed, but it couldn't hide the exhaustion etched into every line of his body. I tried to walk past like I didn't see him, but he lunged forward and grabbed my wrist, his voice hoarse and broken.
Vivian, I'm sorry. I never should have treated you like that. I'm begging you, give me one more chance. Let's start over, please.
I stared at his lips, the same lips that had once whispered sweet promises to me to just let my hand be cut off and die. I stared at him, cold and unyielding, my voice steady.
Your apology means nothing. There's no coming back for us. Not ever. Gideon, you're not sorry. You're just scared. You're scared you'll never be rich and powerful again. You're scared no one will ever look up to you again. I begged you just like this once, and you taught me exactly what it means to be heartless.
I pulled 2 documents out of my bag, divorce papers, signed them. He took the pen with a shaking hand, but the next second, his eyes turned blood-ovened, and he ripped the papers to shreds.
Why should I walk away with nothing? I won't sign the divorce. Half of Aurora Studios is mine.
I thought you loved Scarlett more than anything. Wouldn't a divorce be perfect for you? You could run off with her and live happily ever after. The words be cut to deep the second the scandal broke and Scarlett had cut all tract with a rival entertainment company. Everything he'd once cherished, everything he'd once owned, had left him. The stress was too much. He collapsed straight to the floor, passed out cold. I called an ambulance for him. The law would give him the punishment he deserved. All I needed to do was stay true to my morals and keep moving forward. That night, I posted a new update on my Twitter. 8 p.m. tomorrow night. The final bombshell. Don't miss it. The attached photo was a production contract for one of Scarlett's TV shows. The announcement sent the internet into another tailwhire. When Scarlett saw it, she blew up my phone with texts and voicemails, frantic. She left more than messages.
Vivian, what the hell do you know? I'm ordering you to keep your mouth shut. You've ruined Gideon. My career is in the gutter. Isn't this revenge enough?
I swirled the wine in my glass, a small smile on my lips. No, it's not enough. Scarlett, I almost lost my life because of you too. What you're going through now is just the consequences of your own actions. I'm gonna take back everything that's mine, legally, and I'm gonna make sure you both answer for the terrible things you've done. Scarlett's new company reacted fast. They put out a vague, non-commissional statement to calm her fans down. Then they secretly reached out to the streaming platform, trying to get my account banned entirely. I found out about it while I was in a meeting with Mr. Hall, the CEO of the streaming platform.
Mrs. Vivian, with the investment you've given us, I'd never betray you like that. Relax. The second you go live tonight, I'm swapping our splash screen ad to link straight to your stream. All our traffic is yours.
I smiled and clinked my glass against his. The meeting went perfectly. On the other side of town, Gideon was still in the hospital, recovering from his collapse. When he heard about the stream, he ripped the IV out of his arm, rushed to the front of my mansion, and dropped to his knees.
Vivian, I'm begging you. Spare me. Let me go. If you drop this story, Starlight Entertainment is done for good. I know you hate me, but you built that company from the ground up too. Can you really stand by and watch it burn to the ground?
I shot him a cold, disdainful glance, turned to walk inside and mocked, Gideon, that's not what you said a few weeks ago. I hit play on a recording. It was Gideon's voice, cold and unyielding.
I'm the CEO of Starlight Entertainment now. I'm the majority shareholder. When anyone says Starlight Entertainment, they think of me, Gideon Vaught, not you, Vivian Reed.
Gideon's face turned as white as a sheet. He could only bang his forehead against the ground, over and over, as I walked away, begging me to show mercy. Over the sound of his begging, I went live right on schedule. With Mr. Hell's help, the viewership hit over 100 million people. Even official accounts from federal law enforcement agencies were tuned in. I pulled out several documents and laid them out neatly on the table. Today is my final expose live stream. To wrap this series up, I'm going to reveal the massive scandal hidden in Starlight Entertainment's TV production contracts. According to public reports, Mrs. Scarlett Vell makes around $10 million per show, way less than other stars of her caliber. Does anyone know why? The comments in the Danbo were all over the place, interspersed with abusive attacks from Scarlett's fans, but those fans were quickly kicked out of the live stream by the moderators arranged by Mr. Hale. After letting the anticipation build, I spoke slowly, because behind that public contract there's a second one, and on that second contract her salary is $80 million. I held up both contracts side by side, making sure everyone in the stream could see them clearly. One contract said 80 million.
There are dozens of these dual contracts, all set up the exact same way. Using these contracts, Starlight Entertainment evaded taxes totaling over $1 billion.
When the words left my mouth, the entire live stream went dead silent. $1 billion. That money could have sent thousands of underprivileged kids to college. It could have been life-saving supplies for disaster zones. Wealth that should have been used to build a better future, to help people in need, had instead been siphoned off into private pockets. Millions of viewers watching were consumed with rage. An official law enforcement account commented first, "We are aware of this situation and will be conducting a full investigation." Thousands of viewers commented, tears in their eyes, "Justice may be delayed, but it will never be denied." The live stream ended smoothly. Outside the door, Gideon had collapsed to the ground, muttering over and over, "How did this happen? How did it come to this?" It all started with nothing more than a $50,000 ransom. At what point did the course of his life derail completely?
The IRS launched a second, full-scale investigation into Starlight Entertainment. Beyond the dual contracts that had been exposed, the IRS found that Gideon had been evading taxes for years via profit shifting and inflated cost reporting. At the same time, talent that had been trapped by Starlight Entertainment came forward in droves, exposing the company's slave contracts. The contracts let the company take 90% of the talent's earnings. They included $100 million plus early termination fees.
Emotional abuse and even physical violence from managers was commonplace. This was the final nail in the coffin. The #boycott Starlight Entertainment hashtag stayed at the top of the trending list for 3 full days. Gideon was completely bankrupt. Scarlett's reputation was in tatters over the tax evasion, and her career as a star was over.
Meanwhile, Aurora Studios grew more and more popular, built on the talent and integrity of the artists on our roster. From that day on, when people talked about the new tycoons of Wall Street, the first name they thought of was me, Vivian Reed.
As for Gideon, his name had become a pariah, one people avoided at all costs. I sent multiple copies of the divorce papers to Gideon, but he sent every single one back unopened. With no other choice, I hired a lawyer and filed for divorce. All the evidence was laid out clearly in court. The ruling came down fast. I was finally free. Outside the courthouse, Gideon looked like a broken man. He lunged forward and wrapped his arms around my legs, his voice hoarse.
"I've changed, I swear. You run the business. I'll take care of the home, please."
Before he could finish, the 2 bodyguards I'd hired stepped forward, grabbed him by the collar and dragged him away. As I drove away, he stumbled after the car, screaming and begging for my forgiveness. I pressed down on the gas until his figure shrank smaller and finally disappeared from view. Later, I heard that Gideon still hadn't given up. He tried to make a comeback, but he was too desperate, rushing into half-baked projects and lost everything he had left in no time. To cover his losses, he borrowed from Peter to pay Paul until every bank blacklisted him. He was a deadbeat through and through. My career flourished. Multiple shows from Aurora Studios dominated the charts, becoming massive hits across the country. Next, I planned to break into the film industry. It was the depths of winter, and snow was falling thick and fast. I was rushing to the company's annual gala. When I got out of the car, I accidentally bumped into a sanitation worker. I hurried to help him up, but when our eyes met, I froze. He was hunched over, emaciated, nothing but skin and bones. His white hair was matted and greasy against his scalp. His face was covered by a mask, but those eyes, I'd know them anywhere. He clearly recognized me too. He bowed hastily, then turned and ran away as fast as he could. I stood there frozen, staring at his fleeing back. I didn't even notice Noah walk up beside me. He took off his own scarf and wrapped it carefully around my neck. He wrapped his warm hands around mine and looked in the direction I was staring, but only saw the fading figure of the sanitation worker.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
The gala's about to start. Let's go. I linked my arm through his, and we walked toward the brightly lit entrance. I didn't see the figure huddled behind a snow-covered tree by the road, sobbing silently into his hands.
At the gala, I raised my glass high, toasting a year of success with my employees. Outside the window, brilliant fireworks exploded across the night sky.
Noah, who was standing beside me, suddenly dropped to one knee. He pulled out a sparkling diamond ring and looked up at me with nothing but love in his eyes.
Vivian, will you marry me?
Noah was the CEO of Cedar Capital. His status, his personality, his morals, we were perfect for each other in every way. Besides, marrying him would take the company to even greater heights. I had no reason to say no. To tease him, I paused for a few long seconds. Noah immediately panicked.
If you don't want to.
I do.
I held out my hand, gesturing for him to put the ring on. His hands were shaking so bad with excitement, it took him 3 tries to slide the ring onto my finger.
I threw myself into his arms, and he held me tight. Outside the window, the snow had stopped. Tiny green buds were peeking out from the tree branches. Spring was finally on its way. What a wonderful feeling. As we held each other, the crisp cedar scent of Noah's cologne wrapped around me, chasing away the last of the winter chill. I looked into his eyes, at the unbridled joy and adoration there, and thought of Gideon for a moment. The man who'd once promised to spend the rest of his life with me but wouldn't spend $50,000 my life when I needed it most.
Just grit your teeth and get through it.
I gently pushed Noah back, my finger brushing the diamond ring on my hand. The cold metal was warm with the promise of something real. He smiled and nodded, took my hand and walked with me to the center of the stage. Under the spotlight, I took the microphone and looked out at the young, bright faces of my employees. My heart was full.
Aurora Studios wouldn't be where it is today without every single one of you. From nothing to the top of the industry, we've proven that hard work and integrity will always beat scheming and corruption.
In the new year, we're breaking into the film industry. We're going to make more incredible, meaningful stories. I make this promise, Aurora Studios will never use slave contracts. We will never exploit our talent, ever. Here, every hard day's work will be seen. Every dream deserves to be respected.
You're incredible.
Noah wrapped his arms around me from behind and whispered in my ear. I turned to look at him, a smile on my face.
We're going to be even more incredible together.
The gala went off without a hitch. The employees sang and danced, the energy electric. Halfway through, Noah's assistant hurried over and whispered something in his ear. Noah's face shifted slightly, but he quickly smoothed it over and said to me,
I've got a small emergency to handle. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Don't let it hold you up.
He ruffled my hair, then turned and left. I picked up my glass and walked out onto the terrace alone to get some fresh air. The air after the snow was crisp and clean. The city lights glittered in the distance, painting a picture of the skyline. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Another text came right after. I frowned and deleted the text without a second thought. Gideon was a dead man walking. What final card could he possibly have left? It was probably someone bitter, trying to get in my head. I didn't think anything more of it, and turned to go back inside. As soon as I sat down, I saw Noah walk back in. His face was grave. What's wrong? I asked.
Nothing. A small issue, it's already handled. Don't worry about it.
He forced a smile and reached out. His palm was cold. I knew it was more than a small issue, but if he didn't want to talk about it, I wouldn't push. After the gala ended, Noah drove me home. We drove down the empty streets, and he suddenly spoke.
Vivian, has Gideon contacted you recently?
No. Why? I froze for a second.
Nothing. I just heard he's been borrowing money from everyone. It looks like he's planning something. I've already got people watching him. He won't get the chance to cause you trouble.
Okay, thank you.
Gideon didn't stir any emotions in me anymore, other than pure disgust. I just wanted him gone from my life forever, to never show his face again. When I got home, I washed up and laid in bed, but I couldn't fall asleep. Noah's strange behavior, that text from the unknown number. They swirled around in my head, a fog I couldn't shake. I opened my laptop and searched for any news about Gideon. There was nothing online other than news of his bankruptcy and his dead-shoot status. No useful information at all. Maybe I really was overthinking it. I closed my laptop and forced myself to sleep. Over the next few days, everything was calm. Aurora Studios' expansion into film was moving forward smoothly. We signed several A-list directors and actors, and pre-production was on track. Noah came to the office to see me often, took me out to dinner, talked through work with me. Our relationship grew stronger every day. One day, I was in my office reviewing a script, when my assistant knocked and came in.
Mrs. Vivian, there's a man out here who says he's an old classmate of yours. He says he has something important to tell you. Old classmate? What's his name? He said his name is Daniel Chin.
Daniel? A faint figure popped into my head. He'd been my classmate in college. A good friend back then. After graduation he'd moved abroad, and we'd slowly lost touch. Send him in.